I thought it was about time to do an update on my low spend 2026. Now, I will be completely honest, the low no spend thing hasn't been at the forefront of my mind. I will be honest. I have bought some things that I definitely didn't need, but I don't know. I think I made this in November when I was hitting like a motivational spree of savings goals and stuff for the new year. And then January hit, and I was just like, not so into it. But I do want to be more mindful of my spending. I have to say, I don't think I'm one of the worst for like frittering away my money. I don't drink like coffee or teas or drinks like that. Like, I don't go to coffee shops and cafes. I don't eat a lot of takeout because of my food sensitivities. So it's just easier for me to make food myself because I know what's in it and what I can eat and can't eat. Yeah. So I don't buy a lot of clothes because I'm not very good with clothes, and I find it hard to figure out my style and spend money on stuff that then I don't like anyway, blah blah blah. And I don't use makeup, so there's a lot of those easily over consumable categories that I just don't spend money on in the first place. So I feel like reducing non-essential spending is kind of hard because I don't have a lot of it in the first place. Anyway, let's just have a little look at the rules that I made for myself back in November-ish. And that was to reduce non-essential spending. Set an intention, a why you want to do this. Write down my exceptions and track my progress. I definitely didn't do that. Keep an I didn't buy it journal and calculate the monthly savings. I haven't done that. There have been a few times where I'm like, okay, I didn't buy that, so that saved me X amount of money. And wait 30 days for purchases. And I feel like I'm such a procrastinator that I do usually wait a long time before I buy anything anyway. And then I want to create a dopamine menu. So I have a few of the things here. So as for the why, I want to be able to choose when I leave the work market or take a break. And I actually have a break planned in 2027. Of course, it'll be more planned once we get closer. But I have advised my work that I will be taking a month off in like end of August, September time. Of course, it has to fit with work, but that would be the time that I would most prefer it. And then I also want to have an emergency that's big enough to make sure that like a bigger bill for repair of my car or house or something does it, so I don't have to stress about it. And I think that's also because I got a little bit of a scare with my car last year. Basically, I sent it in for service, just like a normal service, and they came back and said it looked fine, but there were some things we needed to fix sooner rather than later. Just like wear and tear stuff that you have to fix before it breaks, basically. And I don't know why, but I just wasn't expecting that. And it wasn't like a massive bill, and I definitely could swing it, but I just wanted to make sure that in the future I could swing it without breaking a sweat. Yeah. So I think that's also how this came into being, because I was just like, I need to save more money for stuff like that, even though it's not fun. Then for my exceptions, I do have quite a lot because I do want to live my life and not be like completely down in the dumps every day about not having to spend money. So my exceptions are health and exercise. So that means if I want to buy dumbbells or like exercise equipment, I can do that. I buy protein powder, I can do that. I can do classes if I want. I don't really do that because I'm too lazy to go, so. And then also gifts, because I don't want to be known as the stingy one that never brings any good gifts, so. And then bucket list experiences, because like I said, I do want to live life, make the most of the days here on Earth, gather experiences while you can, blah blah blah. And then books from secondhand shops from a certain list, and I failed at that. I think I bought 2 books, but I bought them new, and only one of them was on the list, so yeah, it definitely wasn't too bad. And then socks and underwear, because my socks and underwear was basically falling apart. I did buy some new socks, and I feel like I need to buy more. And as for underwear, I did buy some underwear, and then it just didn't fit, and the company I bought from were terrible with their return service, so I never got to return it, and yeah. So that's still ongoing. Then for the dopamine menu that you can consult whenever you're feeling down in the dumps, I put down reading, because I do love reading. Quilting, I am making a big patchwork quilt, so I do like working on that while I'm listening to an audiobook or watching YouTube. Journaling, because I also enjoy that. And chocolate, which is something that I spend money on, but you know, it's not tons of money. So I feel like when you need a little hit, you can eat some chocolate. And then I set some goals, and I wanted to do 10,000 for my emergency fund, 12,000 for my investment account, and 2,000 for my pension account that is invested through my bank. And I already crossed off the 2,000 for my bank, because I had some extra money in March, I think, at the beginning of March, left over from February's budget. So I put that straight in there and crossed off this goal. And I feel like I am on track for the other goals, so it's not too bad. And then I do use YNAB, You Need a Budget, for my budget. And I just had a little look, because they have these things that you can do. I really enjoy using that. So you have your plan, like all your budget, your money pots set aside. Then you track your spending. This was just because I was checking up on something. So this is like all my spending over. Then you have your accounts, and let's see this one. I should have made activity. So in March I made a payment, because it deducts every 3 months just automatically. So, and then you have your reflections, which is where I feel like we can obviously reflect. So here it has like income versus spending, and it basically says on average you're spending less than you make, so that's good. Apparently not in March though, but I think that was because all my big bills like the mortgage and all my insurances came out in that month, so that was a lot of money going out. Obviously I had saved up for it, so it wasn't bad, but I'm not gonna lie, I logged into my banking app on the 1st of April, and it said I had 400 kroner left. And I was like, did I not get paid? What? But basically I had for some reason set up my insurance to come out of that account instead of the account where I actually save up the money for it. So I just need to move some money around, but it was a little bit of a shock to log in and just be like, you have 400 left for the rest of the month. Yeah, so I moved some money around, it's fine. It just looks bad, because that's when all the expensive big bills come out. But to do like a spending breakdown, and you can do, let's do year to date, because today is April 2nd. Yeah, no, 3rd. April 3rd. So it's not, it's essentially the last 3 months. So for the last 3 months, I spent 9,000 on food, and that tallies up pretty much with what I budget for it, about 3,000 a month. when I set that budget, I was like, 3,000, then you have tons of money to buy fun food, get food delivered, you know, all that stuff, because previously I had budgeted 2,000 a month. So I was like, I'll put in 3,000, then you have plenty of money to do food deliveries and meal services, stuff like that, and probably still have some left over. But as you can see, I guess food just got more expensive. So now my big, easy budget is the basics. Then for my mortgage, I spent 11% of my money on that. I guess that's average. And then I guess here is my fun money. So that's where we can really dive into that non-essential spending. This is a sticker haul that I got for I do the 2D app, because I'm the kind of person who doesn't like to clean, so I need to gamify it, and in order to gamify it you need rewards, and I put myself down for a sticker haul reward when I got a 2-star win in March. So that was it. Then basically there's a lot of bookshops, or a bookshop here, and that was when I bought the 2 books, and I have to say that was with my birthday money, so does it count? I don't think so. And then this one was printer ink, because I print a lot of stuff for my journal. So, and otherwise it's this is when we went out to do some ceramics with my friends, and that was when we went out to eat after the ceramics. Then there's a lot of skincare. I work at a pharmacy, so we get a bit of a knockdown in the price. So I buy a lot of my skincare and vitamins and stuff there, but it still adds up. Yeah, so basically this is the bookshop. I also bought a lot of glue sticks in this previous quarter, because I was making my scrapbook, and that used up like 7 or 8 glue sticks. Yeah, so more pharmacy, skincare, and protein powder. A few shops where it's just like bits and pieces, home decor, or what you call it, like kitchen utensils and body lotions and stuff like that, but not a whole lot. Pixum is where I got my pictures printed for the scrapbook, so that was definitely the biggest post on here. And then Booty is where I bought my socks and underwear. But basically, yeah, there's a lot of skincare, vitamins at the pharmacy, and then a little bit of what you call it, like stickers and books and stuff, but not that much. So I honestly think I'm doing pretty okay. Concerned with the low spend. I just think because I don't really spend that much in the first place, it doesn't feel like I'm cutting down. So yeah. But basically all of the rest here is bills and boring stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I did go out and eat burgers with a friend, so. But yeah, basically I think, even though it wasn't at the forefront of my mind, I do think that it went pretty well. I could definitely do some more with the bookshop and buying books from you, but we don't have a lot of used bookstores in my area, and the one that I usually go to is just so messy. It's just like piles and piles and piles of books everywhere. You can hardly stand up in there, turn around. And it's like vaguely, there's like an English book section that is mostly alphabetized, but then there's like, I don't know, the non-fiction is just piles and piles, and all the new stuff they get in is just put in a pile because there's no room on the shelves. So you just feel like it's so, yeah, messy, and you just can't find anything you're looking for. So that's more of a place for browsing rather than looking for a specific book, in my opinion. So yeah, so finding specific books from a list is kind of hard. But yeah, I have also decided that I mostly want to buy non-fiction, and that is even worse in that bookshop as far as categorization goes. So but yeah, but like I said, I don't think this is too bad at all, and I'll just keep going, I guess, and see. I have put in a bit of a what's it called? Ambitious goal for my investment account. Usually I try to do 1,000 kroner extra a month, but for this quarter I have put down 4,000 instead of 3. And with the way gas prices and food prices are going up, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make it, but it's something to shoot for, and there's no harm done if I don't make that goal. Anyway, let me know how your year is going. Are you doing a low spend, a no spend, any sort of savings challenge? Let me know. I can get inspired, and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye!